Hey guys, I want to go over this week's assignment. I think those who did complete the assignment, some of you got it right, some of you didn't. I think there may have been some confusion on exactly what we're trying to do. I want to explain that now before we meet again. With that said, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So the concept of this assignment is to use Excel because we haven't made it to this point where we can use Workbench. We have to have our environment set up. We have to install Workbench. We have to link the two together. Then we can go to there. And that's the next assignment is setting that up. So the idea is to understand the what problems can we tackle. So we want to kind of look at it as Excel is a placeholder for us to put our output at, and then we can talk about it. Okay? So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. So, going back to the questions here, it says create a sample list of sports teams and their properties like on page 11 in textbook. So hopefully you looked at page 11. This will be similar, but with sports teams. So this is what I would do. So let me see, I'm gonna do sheets, Google, I'm gonna create a new Google sheet. The reason I'm doing sheets over Excel, exactly, it's the same thing. It's just that, oh, come on. All right, so problem is, for example, on my Mac version that I have, Catalina, it doesn't work well with Excel. Everything is upside down. So there's a bug in it, and I don't feel like playing around with it. All right, so what we're looking to do is show you how things can work. So let's say that we have, we mentioned sports teams and so forth. So let's say that we have a table, and we'll say the name of this table is um, teams. Okay. So then we have a column. We'll have a team. We'll have address. We'll have city. We'll have state. We'll have zip code. And let's say that we'll put a business manager. We'll say coach for now. And then also let's add some other information. We want to add some miscellaneous information. So let's say player's first name, player's last name, years of contract, start date, end date, something like this. So this right here is a bunch of miscellaneous information that, but we have it in this table. So what we're saying in assignment one is we want you to create a table that looks like this. It has miscellaneous information, but we want to have it in one location. Okay. So in this example here, we'll say Steelers. I'm just making something up. Rooney Drive. I don't know if that's what it is. Pittsburgh. PA15220. Coach Tomlin. We'll do a player's name. We'll say Ben Roethlisberger. start date. Oh my God, I don't remember. He came here in 2004, so we'll say 4/2004. End date we'll say 2023. So we'll just say 4/2023. I don't know, just make it up. And then let's do this right here. Do the same thing. We'll say Lakers. We'll say 824 Kobe Bryant Drive, Los Angeles, California. We'll just say 90210. Coach is, oh my God, I can't remember the coach's name. We'll just say it's me. That would be nice. Player's name, LeBron James. Years on his contract is 4. So he started, we'll say, he started in 2020 to 2018, so it's probably December time. So we'll say 7/2018, and end date is 7/20/22. All right, cool. So we have this information here. Perfect. Well, I don't need to put a bunch of other stuff in there, but you get my gist. So we have this junky table here, and it to me it's cumbersome. All right. So we answer the first one, create a sample list of sports teams and their properties, like page 11. All right, so in this case, when you're doing your assignments, you could say answer A right here. Boom. So now B is describe modifications that are likely to occur if the owner of this database attempts to make a change. So let's do this. Copy this. Oops. No. I don't want to print it. All right. No, that's not what I want either. Son of a bee. All right, let's try this again. All right. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now, B. Describe modifications problems that were likely to occur. So what can happen? All right, let's say that we wanted to, let's go back here. Let's say that Ben Roethlisberger has decided to retire. We're like, oh, okay, well, we could add the information, but let's say that we need to have a new name here. Now we want to put the new player's name here. Or let's say that we want to delete this row, okay? Let's put it that way. So we want to delete this row. What happens if I delete the row? So from a database standpoint, we would do something this. We type this, say, delete table name where ID equals something. So see, we're missing an ID as well. So let's say that we have employee ID right here. We'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So now we can say, oh, I delete table name where ID equals 1, 2, 3. What happens if we delete this? I'm gonna copy this. We delete it, it's completely gone. But what it did is it erased all of our information. You see what I'm saying? It erased the name of the team, it erased the address, all the information, all because we wanted to purge one person. That is the problems that we would have. Now, can you modify it? Absolutely. Can you modify and update? Same thing. Can you query it? 100%. But what you can't do is you can't do joins that we'll learn about later on. But most importantly is if you need to purge it, you can't purge it. So that's where the term relational database comes in. So what is relational database? It's tables that relate to each other by some means. They have a column or a field on each table that means something specific that allows them to join. So an example would be, okay, you go to a family reunion. What do you have in common? Most of the people that you're related to. Your cousin, how are they your cousin? It might be your mom or your dad's first cousin's son or daughter. That's how they relate. That's how databases work. So for answer B, you can say table will not be able to update the table accordingly. The reason being is you want to define specific information about a category. In this sense, in this example, by purging a row, it will remove other related data. This is why you need a relational table. All right. Hopefully that answers. Now, by me giving you these answers, I don't expect you to give me the same example, but I expect you to give me something similar, and I expect to have it by end of Thursday, or you'll get a 0, because I'm basically, I wouldn't say I'm cheating, I'm giving you the answers. I want you to learn, I want you to understand. All right, so C, split the list into tables such that each has their own theme. So what we're doing here is we want to create a category. Okay, so how would you do that? Well, pretty easy. You come up with a name. So in this case, I'd say a table name. And so I would take, let's make it easy. We'll say teams, address, zip code. That would be one table right there. Okay. So this would be table 1. The other table is, I would have this one right here would be called, and I'll put it right here, teams. Okay. And why it's called teams is because it's a team information, specific information that only is about the team would go there. Now we would have one, and then we also need, let's put it over here. Let's cut this. Let's create a new sheet. I think that'll be better. Perfect. All right, so we have teams here. Now we also need a specific ID. So we can say team ID, and it could be 1, 2, something like that. Okay. So next we need is list of coaches. So this one right here, I'd say coach ID. This will be a primary key. We'll say first name, last name, and we could put type of coach, and we could put start date, end date. So this is when their contract ends. So in this case, we have Mike Tomlin. What is Mike Tomlin? He is the head coach. Oh my God, I don't remember when he started. 2006, Bill Cowher retired. So we'll say May of 2006. When does his contract end? I don't know the answer. Google should give me the answer. Gets 1 year from 2000. So right now his contract ends in July of, well, that doesn't make any sense because then he wouldn't be here. Oh, he's through 2021. All right, perfect. So we'll say that his contract ends May of 2021. So gotcha. All right. So now let's say that we have another coach on the team. Who is the, I should know this, right? I can't remember the guy's name. Keith Butler. How did I forget that? All right. All right, Keith Butler. Who is Keith Butler? He's the defensive coordinator. I don't know his contract, so we're going to say 2016. I'll make it up. And we'll say, we'll just say that for now. Whatever. Anyway, so now we have that information there. So now this is our coach table. All right, so what else are we missing here from our original sheet? So we have coaches, now we need players. So now we have player table, so we'll have player ID. We'll just do player's first name. Here's our contract end. Copy that. And we'll do that. And we'll say 1, 2, something like that. Buffalo shoe. Perfect. All right. So now we have 3 different tables. players. All right, later on we'll learn how to link all these together. But here's the thing, we have 3 different tables. Right now we don't have a common way to link them because there's nothing common with them. Team ID, there's nothing. But later on we'll learn about how we could add something called a foreign key that represents it. And what that means here is, let's say that I wanted to add a new column here. So let me cut it and put it over here because I have room to make changes. So what I would do here is I would have a field set up and I would call it team ID, and we'd have 1 and 2. So that allows me to connect this table and this table together based off of the team ID, the primary key, and this would be the foreign key. And we could do the same thing here, okay? Hopefully this makes more sense. All right, so that right there is our one answer. Copy that. So C split. There you go. Things are split. They make more sense. And the answer to D is create a sample list of sports teams, properties, and services you list will be similar to page 11, but more extensive. So, oh, okay. Well, let me answer it. This might be D right here. See, split the list into tables, which is one theme, create a approximate ID. That's fine. Use linking, call it represent a relationship between a property and a team. Okay. So C, you can say, for example, here, I can link teams and coach together based on the primary key from the team table and the foreign key representation from on the coaches table. The two will link the data together. Perfect. All right, so D, create a sample list of sports teams, properties, and services. Now this one you're going to do just like this. You're going to create sports teams, properties, and services, and your list will be similar to page 11 but more extensive. So now you're going to, basically what you're going to do is you're going to get even more extensive of this. So now we have coaches, we have players. Now you start thinking about other things that you could have. So maybe equipment, for example. So we'll put I'll put equip ID. Maybe you have what type of equipment? Oops. What type of equipment? Type of equipment, purchase date, etc. So you might have, oops, just making this easy. One, we'll say shoulder pads. Purchased it. We'll say inventory, and we'll say these are extra ones we have. We have 10. Maybe you have another one here, and you have cleats. Let's spell that right. Let's say 25 extra pair, something like that. So you would start explaining a little bit more detail and making this table grow even more extensively than you have. So we have equipment ID. Another thing that we could have in place is parking passes. So all the players have parking pass ID. So we would have, this would be easy because then we can link it to the players table, and all we have to do here is do they have one, yes or no. So we could use something called a Boolean for true or false. We could say retained pass, and it could be either a yes or no. So 0 equals false and 1 equals true. So in this case right here, I would put we would need a couple things here. Let's see, copy this real quick, cut it, put it over here. We would need the player ID over here as well. So let's say we have Ben, And then we could say retain pass, and we could put 1. And then maybe we have number 2, and then we have 2, and we can have 0, which is false. Okay, see where I'm going? So now we're like building this table out even more extensive, providing more details, and so forth. So now this will be your answer to the last option. And so now I'll screenshot it here. And then I'll talk about it. Okay. So D provided a more extensive look at providing more relationships. There you go. All right, so that is how you do assignment number 1. This is getting you familiar with it. You read the chapter, you're familiarizing yourself how to set up tables and so forth. So you have till Thursday to finish this, or remain at 0. We've had enough extra time to work on this. Watch the video, and you'll learn something here. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Bye.